Elliot Kingsley's tribute to his adoptive father, Ozzy Osbourne, was not the kind that made headlines or dominated social media feeds. Instead, it was intimate, measured, and deeply personal, a reflection shaped by time, maturity, and a willingness to see the truth without embellishment. In a family often associated with public displays of emotion and unfiltered candor, Elliot's words offered a quieter kind of respect. He acknowledged both the light and the shadows in their connection, honoring Ozzy without ignoring the complicated nature of their relationship. Elliot did not pretend they had shared a perfect father-son bond. With quiet honesty, he admitted, "We weren't together much, but his presence still shaped parts of me, even in absence." This was not a sugar-coated speech meant to please an audience. It was the voice of someone who had reached a place of understanding. Rather than focusing on the larger-than-life persona the world knew, he spoke of Ozzy as a man, one with flaws, struggles, and private battles. He remembered the human being behind the rock legend, the individual who carried both dreams and deep wounds. Elliot did not speak with bitterness, but with empathy, recognizing that some lives are simply too big and too turbulent to fit neatly into traditional roles. Born in 1966 to Thelma Riley from a previous relationship, Elliot entered Ozzy's life when his mother married the rising rock star in 1971. Ozzy adopted him, giving him the Osbourne name, but their connection would always be complex. While the Osbourne surname would later become famous for both heavy metal excess and reality television spectacle, Elliot charted his own course, choosing a life defined by theater and personal privacy rather than public notoriety. Growing up in Birmingham, Elliot's early years were shaped by his mother's care and the looming turbulence of Ozzy's rock and roll lifestyle. The family expanded to include two younger half-siblings, Jessica and Louis, but life at home was far from stable. Ozzy's battles with substance abuse, well known to the public, brought chaos and instability to the household. As Ozzy's fame with Black Sabbath and later as a solo artist exploded, so did the unpredictable nature of his personal life. The marriage to Thelma eventually collapsed, ending in divorce in 1982, and Elliot's contact with his adoptive father became infrequent thereafter. Despite being connected to one of rock's most infamous families, Elliot distanced himself from the public glare. While his younger step-siblings from Ozzy's second marriage, Jack, Kelly, and Amy, became known through MTV's The Osbournes, Elliot remained invisible to the cameras. He did not appear on the show, rarely spoke publicly about his family, and built his own life away from the limelight. For years, many fans of Ozzy were unaware of his existence. Instead of pursuing music or television, Elliot devoted himself to the stage. His passion for acting led him into the world of theater, where he developed his craft with dedication. The discipline and artistry required in this field suited him, and he earned a reputation as a serious performer. In the British theatre circuit, particularly in Liverpool, he took on roles in various productions, including Shakespearean works, bringing a quiet intensity and depth to his performances. Theatre provided Elliot with a space to express himself without being defined by his famous surname. His commitment extended beyond acting. Reports suggest he has also worked in technical and directorial capacities, further deepening his involvement in the art form. This multifaceted approach reflected his desire not just to perform, but to contribute meaningfully to storytelling as a whole. Public interest in Elliot often resurfaced in the context of Ozzy's regrets. The rock star has admitted in interviews that he failed his older children, including Elliot, during their formative years. He has described himself as a terrible father to Elliot, Jessica, and Louis, citing his addictions and chaotic lifestyle as the reasons for their strained bonds. Yet Elliot has never publicly criticized Ozzy. His choice to remain silent on personal grievances, rather than seek attention or capitalize on the family name, speaks volumes about his character. Elliot's approach to life stands in stark contrast to the fame-driven culture surrounding much of his family. While Jack and Kelly have embraced the spotlight, sharing their personal lives on television and in books, and Amy has acknowledged her ties to the family while keeping a relatively low profile, Elliot has gone even further in avoiding public exposure. His decision to prioritize his craft and privacy over notoriety underscores a clear sense of independence. His life away from the cameras does not mean it has been without emotional challenges. Being part of a fractured family inevitably leaves marks, and Elliot's journey required resilience, self-awareness, and forgiveness. While the world consumed the highs and lows of the Osbournes on television, Elliot built his own world, one guided by his love for theater and his personal values rather than public validation. When Ozzy revealed in 2020 that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, public discussions about his family legacy gained new weight. Some wondered whether this difficult period might lead to renewed contact between Ozzy and his older children. However, there has been no public confirmation of any reunion between father and son. Still, Elliot's life tells a compelling story of self-definition. He has shown that it is possible to grow up connected to a global celebrity, yet choose a completely different path. His quiet strength lies in building an identity on his own terms, separate from the overwhelming shadow of his adoptive father's fame. Financially successful in his own right, Elliot is reported to have a net worth of around $10 million, accumulated through his theater career, endorsements, and business ventures. Yet, unlike many in his position, wealth has not drawn him toward a public persona. Instead, it has allowed him to maintain the independence and discretion that define his life. In the broader narrative of the Osbourne family, Elliot is an outlier. Not because he is less talented or accomplished, but because he has refused to let fame dictate his choices. He embodies a kind of quiet dignity, resisting the lure of instant recognition for a life built on patience, artistry, and self-reliance. Elliot Kingsley may never be as well known as his siblings or his legendary adoptive father, but that seems to suit him. He has chosen the intimacy of the stage over the glare of the camera, the discipline of craft over the chaos of celebrity. His story is not one of public spectacle, but of personal integrity. It is the story of a man who stepped away from the circus and found his own place in the world, not as Ozzy's son, but simply as himself. In the end, Elliot's legacy is defined not by the headlines he avoided, but by the life he built in their absence. He stands as proof that sometimes the most powerful tributes are not the loudest ones, but the ones spoken in quiet moments, with honesty and grace. His life is a testament to forging your own path, even when the world expects you to follow someone else's. And with that, thanks for watching, share with friends, and please subscribe for more videos.